Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Just to run through the Easter Bytes at National Museum of Computing one more time. Easter Bytes Festival starts on the 1st of April and run until the 12th of April from 12 noon to 5 p.m. It's supported by Bloomberg and there'll be digital fun and games for all the family. This Easter, robotics, past and present, will be a special theme and there'll be lots of hands-on activities for everyone. Just don't get in the queue in front of me. On various days throughout Easter Bytes, visitors can tackle the virtual Bletchley Park maze in search of Easter eggs, enter a Lego competition to make something for George, TMMOC's in-house 1950s robot, marvel at a modern-day multi-purpose ABB industrial robot, see a Munster robotic arm used in the 1990s by the oil industry in the North Sea, meet a robot from the past that used to appear on Doctor Who, use the Oculus Rift virtual reality headset with games. It's quite big stuff that is at the moment. There's some travel companies using it as well instead of brochures, or as well as. You can explore the home of the Colossus as it was in the 1940s. Tune up in a computing music workshop using sounds of computers across 7 decades. Have fun with Minecraft. And make your own animations with the Hue HD Animation Studio Kit. Try coding with Okado's Technology Codability Project. Meet the Fusiliers and see the new BBC Microbit. And win an award box certificate to share on Facebook, Twitter and email. So there's plenty going on over Easter at the National Museum of Computing. One more time, the website is www.tnmoc.org. You can follow the museum on Twitter, which is @TNMOC, and you can search for the National Museum of Computing on Facebook and on Google+. If you pop over there during the Easter and you play with the robots and you take a video of it, please do share it, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. And now, travel news. London Mayor Boris Johnson has rejected a £200 million expansion plan for the London City Airport, as it would lead to unacceptable noise levels. The move left the Docklands Airport perplexed and disappointed, apparently, with Chief Executive Declan Collier claiming the decision went against everything that the Mayor supports and promotes. The expansion proposals included an increase in the number of flights from 70,000 a year to 111,000 a year, almost doubling the number of passengers to 6 million by 2023. The terminal building would also have been extended and there would have been an additional 7 new stands for aircraft. The plans included increasing runway capacity to allow for more takeoff and landings at peak times and to handle quieter, more fuel-efficient next-generation aircraft. But in a letter sent to Newham Council, Johnson directed the local authority to refuse the airport's planning application. Get the wording right. Collier went on to say, "It's ironic that the Mayor of London, whose platform has always been one of advantage for businesses in London, is denying the capital the business opportunity presented by growth at London City Airport. It is doubly ironic that this decision has taken on London City's busiest ever day, when more than 16,500 passengers pass through the terminal." He goes on, "Demand for the connectivity the airport provides is growing, driven by the success of London as a global business centre, and to serve this demand, the airport needs to grow. Development at London City Airport, which is in line with the current aviation policy, would also inject extra airport capacity into the London system at a time when capacity is very constrained, and will continue to be so until at least 2030, which is the earliest date that the new runway infrastructure could be delivered. The Mayor's decision has also jeopardised this additional capacity uplift." The airport argued that its plans involved the extension of existing infrastructure to enable the airport to achieve an already permitted growth in flight numbers. The scheme had the ability to deliver an extra £750 million a year to the UK economy, and also 2,000 new jobs in the local Newham area and East London. A spokesperson for Johnson told the London Evening Standard, The Mayor has long argued that Heathrow Airport cannot be expanded due to increased noise it would lead to in West London, and is not willing to expose East London to additional noise either. The Mayor continues to believe that a new hub airport in east of London is the only long-term option that will provide enough aviation capacity without the detriment to the health and well-being of hundreds of thousands of people in London and the South East. I've not been to London City Airport yet. Have you been to London City Airport? Do you think it's nice as it is, or would you like to see expansion? Let me know your views. Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. After the German Wings crash last week, major airlines have acted to ensure that 2 crew members are always present in the cockpit. This preempted change comes after it emerged that the co-pilot of the German Wings Airbus A320 locked himself in the cockpit before crashing the aircraft into the French Alps, killing himself and all 149 other people on board. EasyJet, Monarch Airlines, Virgin Atlantic and Thomas Cook Airlines are among the UK carriers confirming that they are tightening up their safety procedures. Others include Air Canada, WestJet, Air Transat, Emirates, Norwegian, Lufthansa and Air Berlin. The Civil Aviation Authority has written to all UK carriers to ask what procedures they have in place for when one of the pilots leaves the flight deck. The spokesperson said, "Following the details that have emerged regarding the tragic German Wings incident, we are coordinating closely with colleagues at the European Aviation Safety Agency and have contacted all UK operators to require them to review all relevant procedures. All UK airline pilots undergo extensive and regular medical assessments to determine their fitness to hold a licence. As part of this, aeromedical examiners are required to assess a commercial pilot's mental health at each medical examination, which, for an airline pilot flying with at least one other pilot, is undertaken annually. These detailed medical assessments are in line with international aviation standards. Continue to monitor the situation as the investigation develops and our thoughts remain with the friends and relatives of all those affected by this tragic incident." As far as I'm aware, it's still not 100% sure what happened in the airline. There's a lot saying that the pilot deliberately did it. But it's a terrible incident, and I was at Luton Airport a couple of days afterwards, and because they come up with a reason for the accident so far, I think that's why there's so many people who didn't seem that concerned when flying. And it is a rare event, although there has been some stories about African pilots doing the same thing, so it's something we need to watch with great interest to see what changes are going to be made now. I have 2 stories about visas this week. The first one involves Egypt, and the new regulations which are expected on the 15th of May as part of a new security crackdown to deter terrorists from travelling to Egypt are confusing the travel trade a little bit. The UK office of the Egyptian State Tourist Office has said that talks are still ongoing with exact details due to be made at the end of March. But an Egypt Ministry tourism spokeswoman said that anyone booking a trip independently and not being met by a ground handling agent would need a visa in advance. Just to explain that a little bit more, holiday makers booking through an operator will not be affected, but it is unclear whether tourists who book a flight only or accommodation only through an agent will continue to be able to obtain a visa on arrival. The spokeswoman continued that these changes will apply to independent travellers. Those people handled by an operator or local ground handler will not be affected. They will need to be met by a ground handler because that's who gets the visas for them at the airport. So that's why it's a little bit confusing. Back and forth. Do you need one? Don't you need one? If the agent does the accommodation, do you get a visa? So it looks like it could be a nice little fill-up for the travel industry because it may be easier for the travellers if this goes ahead as it seems to be in this article. It's easier if you use a tour operator because then all the visas will be sorted out. Otherwise you have to do it yourself. But then again, if you're the sort of person who sort out everything else yourself, getting a visa probably wouldn't be that much hassle anyway. But when it comes to the visas, they're not required for UK visitors who are travelling to the Red Sea resorts of Sharm el Sheikh, Dahab and Taba, who are travelling for up to 15 days. And there's no indication this would change. So it looks like you need a visa for some parts of Egypt and not others. But anyway, I'm sure the story will develop, and by the 15th of May, we'll be fully clued up about whether you need a visa to visit Egypt or not. Staying with Egypt and the Red Sea, there's a shark attack has killed a holiday maker. An investigation is underway after a German tourist was killed by a shark in the Egyptian Red Sea resort. Reports say the man, who is aged 53, was swimming off the coastal city of Al-Qusar when the shark bit off his leg at the knee. The species of shark has not been confirmed, but in 2010 the resort of Sharm el-Sheikh was closed for a week after a spate of attacks by oceanic whitetips. A 70-year-old German holidaymaker was killed while snorkeling, and 3 Russian tourists were wounded in another Red Sea resort. And in 2009, a French woman was killed in an attack in the area where yesterday's attack took place. So, I mean, although there's come up with all these different shark attacks, the shark attack is extremely rare. And I do hope they're not going to go mad and try and wipe out all the sharks in the area, because they're beautiful creatures and they are needed as part of the ecosystem. And it is their territory, so hopefully there'll be no more attacks, and hopefully it won't mean that the locals are going to wipe out the sharks altogether.
Son of legendary soul singer Jackie Wilson, Bobby Brooks Wilson. He has performed all over the world and has opened for the Four Tops, The Temptations, and Bruno Mars. Direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Bobby Brooks Wilson.
Yes, joining me on the Sticks Radio Show for a UK exclusive on the 6th of April at 10 a.m. is Bobby Brooks Wilson. He's going to be talking about his dad, his life, and his career in music. So join me, Terry Sullivan, for the Sticks Radio Show here on Seclo Sounds, 10 a.m, 6th of April.
Step into the spotlight with me, Lucy, every Wednesday between 6 and 7 p.m. on Seclo Sounds. I'll have new music, the latest entertainment news, and interviews with local bands. If you're in a band, or if you have music that you think I should be playing, I'd love to hear from you. Email me, lucy@seclosounds.org, and join me every Wednesday from 6 till 7 for Spotlight on Seclo Sounds.
You can contact us or just keep up to date with travel news at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show.
Seclo Sounds is based at the Old Rectory, the home of our studio partner Interaction MK. They've been bringing arts to life in Milton Keynes for over 35 years. They use the arts to improve the life chances of disabled people and others in challenging circumstances through shared creative activity. These programs help participants to develop creative, personal and social skills. You can visit them at www.interactionmk.org.uk.
You're listening to the John Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org. Iberia Express has launched new flights from Heathrow Airport to Tenerife North from the end of March. The press release goes on to say the beauty and authenticity of the north of Tenerife will become more accessible than ever for UK travellers, as Iberia Express launches the new route from the 29th of March. That will operate 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays, flying from London Heathrow to the Tenerife North Airport. With the new direct flights, key attractions such as Santa Cruz and some other ones which I can't pronounce, as you would know that, and the northern wineries, volcanic sand beaches and picturesque towns are now within easy reach. For those looking to use the north as a base camp for their holiday, there is also a variety of beautiful rural accommodation options, including boutique hotels, guest houses and self-catered apartments and villas, all just a short drive from the airport. As a complement and contrast to the popular resorts in the south of the island, the lesser-known north is ideal for outdoor enthusiasts, walkers, families and couples who are seeking a more authentic experience, closer to nature and away from the more populated areas. I have been to the north of Tenerife on a travel agent do, and it is a very pretty place. It's worth visiting. And as I said, there's lots of little bits and pieces that the press release is talking about which I cannot pronounce, but have no fear, you can find out all about it at www.webtenerife.co.uk. So web Tenerife, all in one word, .co.uk. The second visa story this week is about India. You may remember a few weeks ago that the Indian government has announced a change in the way that visas are given to UK travellers. This upset the travel trade quite a lot over here because This extra expense and difficulty in sorting stuff